So my own doorway to self-compassion, I mentioned the last time we met, and I'm just going to very quickly summarize it because it was through the door of shame that I discovered self-compassion. I've been suffering for 20 years from public speaking anxiety, and I'm technically an expert in anxiety disorders, but I couldn't help myself until I learned loving kindness meditation for myself. In other words, just to love myself as a very imperfect person who's incapable of giving a public speech without shaking like a leaf. To be able to be kind to myself like that was revolutionary. And throughout this whole time, I was practicing mindfulness meditation, but without self-compassion, explicit self-compassion. And so it basically changed the whole experience for me. Now people can't shut me up in public settings. But at any rate, what I learned from this experience is that sometimes when we are in the midst of intense and disturbing emotions like shame, first we need to hold ourselves before we can hold the experience. And that's self-compassion. And this combination of loving awareness of the experience and loving awareness of the experiencer is a remarkable combination to manage difficult emotions, especially the most difficult emotion of all, which is shame. The other thing I learned is that my public speaking anxiety was actually not an anxiety disorder. I was trying to, make space and accept anxiety. But it didn't work because I wasn't accepting the problem. The problem was shame. In other words, I thought I was fraudulent or incompetent or a little stupid. And I couldn't face that. I couldn't hold that. So hence, I couldn't deal with the problem. Another amazing thing is that shame actually, self-compassion actually addressed the shame without even knowing I had a shame problem. It's only after I started to heal because of self-compassion that I actually discovered that there was underlying shame there. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing as mindfulness teachers, because if you can see that your student is struggling with shame, you don't necessarily need to say, oh, that's shame. Let's look at shame. You don't have to do this. You can just help them to be kind to themselves because they're struggling. And usually they will discover what they need to know.